Showtime quietly released another amazing documentary.
They're unstoppable.
They are it's great stuff. I mean, on the level of like 30 for 30, they released a 1-hour documentary on the story of Roger Miret. I could be saying his name wrong. I don't know if it's Miret or Miret.
Miret?
I don't know. Am I wrong? Is it Miret?
Roger Miret.
Fuck. I thought he was French.
How do you say Namor?
Miret. Namor. Do you know how I used to call Quasar?
Quasar.
Dude, I grew up as Greek as a first language.
I know.
Like I didn't learn. I went to kindergarten speaking Greek.
Yeah.
It was a rough life for me. And the worst part, and the crazy part is, I am a communications major.
You are
a PR manager. Like, I should know how to speak right now, but that's the way the world works. I love the Godfathers of Hardcore. It's the story of Roger Miret and Vinnie Stigma. I only know them as the lead singer and guitar player of Agnostic Front, and I've always held them as very scary people.
Oh yeah.
Just for like growing up with Agnostic Front, most of my youth, Agnostic Front didn't exist as we knew them. I never got to see them until they reunited in like 97 or whenever Rabies died around that time.
They put on a great show.
But I got to see them, crucified skinhead armies. I always was a little bit on they're kind of the scary version of Sick of It All.
Listen, trust me, my Hello Kitty ass wasn't going anywhere near hardcore like back then. They were all tough guys.
The second show I ever got knocked out at was an Agnostic Front show at Maxwell's. I always was kind of afraid of them until one day I went and saw Roger Miret and the Disasters open up for the Horror Pops in Montclair at the very shortly lived the Montclair punk rock club that was on Bloomfield Ave. I think a Bloomfield Ave Cafe.
Oh, they played the Bloomfield Ave Cafe?
Yes. And I went there on a whim. It was down the street. I went to just go see the Horror Pops and Roger. And I just stayed outside between sets. I was the oldest one there by a good 5-10 years, except for Roger. And I ran into him outside and he just started talking to me. Because he's like, I just want to talk to somebody who's like over the age of 8, who's like legal. And he was a very nice guy. And then I went and interviewed him a couple weeks later when he was, I interviewed him on the phone. He was in Phoenix where he was living at the time, or I think where he still lives. Very nice guy. I was completely shocked that this was, I always thought, so then I was like, well, the scary one has to be Vinnie Stigma. I mean, he looks so terrifying. He basically looks like the guy, like he's a living, breathing version of someone from The Sopranos or Goodfellas.
Right.
And, but you watch this documentary that shows the two of them growing up, basically creating the New York hardcore scene. And it turns out it's like Vinnie Stigma's the happiest dude in the world. And he's so excited on life. And like hardcore is his life, but New York's his life.
He loves New
I
York.
would have paid to see an entire documentary of just Vinnie Stigma walking the streets of New York.
Dude, me too.
Yeah.
Like literally, I could watch hours of him just like walking and just running into old neighbors and friends and just shooting the breeze. Like,
oh my God.
Amazing.
So good. And on the other side, they had Roger Miret, who now lives in Phoenix and who's going through like a lot. Like he's just like trying to, basically aging as a punk rock hero, hardcore hero, but just like, obviously he's kind of like the Johnny Ramone of Agnostic Front. I don't think he really wants to be that, but that's what he is.
Right.
And just surviving and making money in punk rock today. And it's the story of these two just growing up and living and still being legends.
They're best friends like us.
But not being famous. You know what I mean?
We're legends. Yeah, kind of.
So good. I haven't checked, but it's got to be done by the same people who did the Mauro Ranallo documentary, which you need to see. They did Showtime also commissioned a documentary on Mauro, who is the famous commentator in like boxing and UFC and now NXT for WWE. The guy lives a very, very challenging life with bipolar disorder, and they just go so deep in what the disorder is and how it affects you, and you can understand why this guy goes through what he does, why he disappears from wrestling for weeks at a time. Love both documentaries. Definitely check them out. I don't remember Mauro Ranallo's the name of his.
Bipolar Rock and Roller.
Excellent. Thank you.
What a good name.
The other one is The Godfathers of Hardcore.
Yep.
Both on Showtime. I highly recommend them. Whether or not you're into wrestling or hardcore music, I thought they were very good movies.
Absolutely.
Allison loved the Agnostic Front one. I wouldn't call her the biggest hardcore fan, even though she has seen Agnostic Front live and has this like weird affinity for them because they're so what old New York is. Yeah. And I just really, really good stuff. So
really good.
I highly recommend both.